Hi, this is OC,
And this is Linda.
and we just are finishing week 3, ethical decision making and leadership. These are very important topics in teaching business ethics, and we really appreciate all the work you're doing. We think that ethical decision making is one of the more misunderstood areas, and first I would like to address some issues related to our ethical decision making model.
Oh, see, I think you made an incredibly good point. I think the ethical decision-making model is extremely misunderstood. A lot of people believe that the most important factor in determining what people do in the organization is their individual moral character. And whereas individual values and beliefs and attitudes are important, the ethical decision-making model points out that ethics is much more social. Ethics is much more related to what goes on in the work group, what your supervisor incents, what your peers and coworkers do. It's much more of a team dynamic than it is an individual element. And Linda Trevino at Penn State University referred to it as the apple in the barrel. What rots more quickly, a bad barrel with good apples, or one bad apple in a beautiful oak barrel with a lot of other shiny apples? And it becomes quite clear it's the organizational culture or the barrel which can rot behavior of the individual or the apple more quickly than that one bad individual within the organization. So I think the ethical decision-making model, understanding it, being able to explain and apply it, is incredibly important to managing organizational ethics. OC, how does ethical decision-making play into understanding of an organizational culture? How are the two interrelated?
Linda, that was a great question that everyone has to answer, especially when they're teaching business ethics, because many people march into the classroom thinking ethics is easy, it's a personal issue, and if you've got good background, good family, you'll just make great ethical decisions. But to quote Barney Rosenberg at Meggitt Aerospace Company, he tells his employees that ethics is a team sport. Just like basketball or football, ethics usually doesn't occur in terms of business decisions while you're locked in your room by yourself or your office or in your car. It's when you're sitting at a table talking with people, when issues come up, how you join them, how you resolve these in a team setting. It's very, very important. Business ethics is really a little different from the decisions you get to make at home in the family situation, because you have all kinds of pressures, you have performance pressures, and most research has shown that more unethical decision-making is made not from personal benefits, but from trying to advance the interests of the company. So what is an ethical culture? It's very important to know how that culture functions. It includes principles that we will be talking about a lot, values, norms, which are behavioral expectations, as well as the artifacts, the codes of ethics, the things that are on the bulletin board or on websites that help people make the right ethical decisions. So ethical culture is very important. Linda, this week we also looked at strategic philanthropy and cause-related marketing, those types of things that companies do. How important is that in terms of the company's success in developing an ethical culture?
I think it's very important, and I gave an exam this past week, and I had a chance in the essay exam to see students' thoughts on comparing and contrasting these two concepts. And there was a fair amount of confusion, especially blurriness on strategic philanthropy. So cause-related marketing, I think we're much more comfortable with. So if Yoplait has you send in lids from yogurt to support breast cancer research, that's cause-related. They've selected a social cause that they want to be involved with. There's many good examples. Historically, American Express, when people used their American Express cards to raise money for the Statue of Liberty restoration, a certain percentage of the sales went to the restoration. So let's talk about strategic philanthropy in comparison. That's where you're taking advantage of your core expertise. So let's look at ADT Home Security Systems. One of their causes is donating security units to battered women, particularly in large cities. So what they've done, they provide a function that relates to their core competence, and that helps to leverage their brand image and equity in the marketplace. Classic example is Home Depot. Home Depot's been very involved with Habitat for Humanity. Home Depot's into home building, employees having service skills and building skills, which they get to play out in habitat construction projects, donation of materials. It leverages the brand. It's what they do. It's their area of expertise. So strategic philanthropy is much more planned in terms of thinking about how that social cause fits with your core competence and expertise. Hey, I want to thank you again for everything that you've been posting and the insights and comments and perspective that you're sharing with one another. This has been a great week 3.
And we'll see you in week 4.